Hey guys, it's Coach Brent Grablachoff from Kicking World. I'm out here in sunny San Diego, California. It's a gorgeous May spring day. I actually just got done doing a little kicking myself, gearing up for a big DVD I'm putting out in a couple months here. Anyway, I wanted to touch base on the 5 most common kicking injuries blog post series I've been doing the last few weeks here. And as you know, number 1 is the hip flexor muscle, which holds really true and home to my heart because I actually tore it when I was coming out of college trying to play professionally. I actually had something called an acetabular labral tear, which is basically like a pitcher throwing his arm out, throwing 100, 200, 120 pitches in a night, and then waking up the next day, oh, what happened to my shoulder? It's all fouled up. I basically did that with my leg. In your leg, there's also a labrum, the hip, there's a joint and a ball, and basically your leg moves inside this joint area, and what happened was all this stuff in here got so tight from kicking over the years, and it wouldn't move properly, and this would catch and grab and tear at all of the cartilage and everything inside there. So basically what the doctors had to do when I had hip surgery, it was pretty crazy. They separated my leg from my joint, so literally my leg was outside of my joint on the operating table, and then they curved and smoothed out all of this area, and then they pieced it back together. So now there was just enough gap so everything could move, versus before it was all tight and my leg wouldn't move up enough. It was all stiff on the kick. And basically what happened was, after the fact, it definitely helped my my feel like I wasn't in pain as much, but I lost a lot of strength. So I went from kicking 65-yard field goals to pretty much now when I coach my guys, I really can't make much more than like a 53, 55 on a really good day. So the moral of the story is you want to really make sure that you pay attention to your practice regime, make sure that you don't overkick, and basically have some kind of a game plan going into every practice or a game or whenever you're out there on the field. The worst thing that you could do as a kicker or punter is just go out there and mindlessly kick one after another balls like rapid fire. And by the end of the day, it's 70, 80 balls you've kicked, and that's a really easy way to set yourself up for hurting yourself. So my typical recommendation is about 40 to 45 balls for the average high school, college, even a pro kicker doesn't typically kick any more than about 50 balls in one session. And that should be spread out over 45 minutes to an hour and a half of training. A good thing also to do is use that kick tracker app that I came out with, and that's for Android phones and iPhones. That's at kicktracker.com, and you can basically chart your session so that you know how many kicks you do each session, and then also you can see your stats and what your results were, your long field goal, your streak, basically how you did from each range, 20 to 30, 30 through 40, etc. The other thing I wanted to show you in this video is a really good stretch for your hip flexor, and something that I use often with my students as well as me, because even on those rainy days, even though I had surgery a number of years ago, I still get flare-ups just like someone would with their knee if they tore their ACL or any type of injury. On cold, overcast days, it just doesn't feel right. So let me show you this stretch here. Okay, this is called a hip flexor stretch. It's actually really easy to do. It's going to work your hip flexor muscle. So I'm going to do this on my left leg first. So what I would do is I put my left knee on the ground. I put my right foot way out in front. Never cross your knee on anything you do. Don't let your knee go past your foot. It's just a safer way to prevent injury. And you just simply push your pelvis down into the ground. So put the majority of your weight pushing into the ground. Keep your left arm straight so your back is nice and tall. And all you want to do is simply just push that weight into the ground. As you become more flexible, you're going to be able to move that front leg up further, as well as kick that back knee further back. And this is almost like a hyper stretch here. This is what I call a hyper stretch, where it's really good for punters. And you're just going to sit and stretch. It's going to get your hip flexor muscle, and depending on how you move, you can even work your back, you can work the groin a little. Okay, so I hope that gave you a little overview about the hip flexor injury, which in my opinion is the #1 most common kicking injury for kickers and punters. Make sure you reference the blog post. You could actually sort the blog by tags and choose kicking injuries, and you'll be able to see all 5 of those posts in a row, so you could see from number 5 up to number 1 hip flexor, and really learn different ways to prevent recognize and pretty much do a little bit of rehabbing or healing of them if you should suffer an injury like that. Make sure you guys take a look at all our resources on the internet. We have the blog, we have youtube.com/kickingworld, which is where you're probably seeing this now. We have the website, which is kickingworld.com, and that's where you could go to sign up for our camps. We have several camps every year, California, Texas, New Jersey, about 8 or 9 different states we had here this year. And then also private instruction. I do them out here in San Diego, California, as well as most weekends, Sundays in Laguna Hills, California, for all my Los Angeles area and Orange County people. You're always welcome, whether you live in California or another state, to come out and train with me. We can work up a good package to get you out here for a couple of days in a row, get some beautiful weather. You can even make it a little vacation with your family. So if you have any questions, reach me through the website at kickingworld.com. Remember, we do field goal kicking, kickoff, punting, and even snapping instruction. So I hope this helped you out a little bit with injuries, and I wish you much success in your upcoming football season.